Hi and welcome to another YouTube video. Today I have a new shell challenge for you because I don't know if you've seen it, but I lately did a collab with Miss Unfortunate and Kerrigan, and at the end I did a reaction tour of the final product, and that was so much fun, and I really got into the mood to not like show off what I built, but rather tour other people's builds and like show off other people's immense talent. So I really want to do that, and so I created a shell that you can see me create right now. And this shell is a lot smaller than my last one. I think I spent 4.5 hours on doing my build where I decorated this shell, and I spent way more time than usual on the furnishing. So I think this size should be fine, and I hope you'll have a lot of fun with it. And please know that if you take the time and try out this shell and decorate it for me to tour, I'm super thankful, and I'm already excited if some people are going to do it and what the results could be. Okay, so the rules of this one are that you can change wall heights, that you can use the tool mod to your heart's content, that you can of course add walls on the inside to create a floor plan, you can add fences, foundations and platforms to, for example, create patios and balconies, and you can even add exterior buildings like a little greenhouse that doesn't belong to the original build. But you can only do that as long as the walls of these additional buildings don't touch the original walls, so they aren't in contact and a little bit apart from each other. And yeah, so the rules are basically don't touch more walls. I bet most of you have probably done a few shell challenges and know the rules. And the hashtag for this one is Sunny Shell Challenge, because last time I had a spelling error in my hashtag, so I can just use this one again and spell it right this time, which is nice. And the shell is due on February 17th. And it of course all depends on the amount of people that actually want to participate. But if people like this shell and actually build something, I would love to do a shell challenge tour stream on the 18th of February, where I really take time to tour these builds in the best case scenario from people that are in chat. And yeah, just take time and really tour them and look at every detail. That could be super fun. And then a few days later, I will make cinematic tours, including all the builds where I talk about them and the things that I like about them. And yeah, I think that's the plan. And on the topic of Twitch and streaming, I had my first Sims Twitch stream 2 days ago on Sunday, and it was so incredibly much fun. I kind of wasn't expecting nobody to be there and me just talking to myself the entire time, but there were so many lovely people that showed up and supported me, and the gameplay was a lot of fun, at least for me. And from the feedback that I've gotten, it was fun to watch too, which meant a lot to me. So yeah, I had a super fun time, and I'm super motivated to stream again. So I'm going to do that tomorrow evening. I don't know exactly when I'll start yet, but probably tomorrow on Wednesday I'll start around like 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. Central European time. That's the plan right now, and yeah, I'm super excited for it. And also I'm trying to reach affiliate so that I can draw cute emotes for myself and can use polls and cool stuff like that. So if you would give me a follow on Twitch and help me reach affiliate, that would be so greatly appreciated. But let's get back to the shell and the house. So this shell, as I already said, is not that big, but it has some very interesting shapes, and I think some of the shapes of this shell are like very easy to work with. They aren't the usual like everyday suburban house, but they like you can make these features of the shell look good very easily, whereas other features, for example, basically almost everything in the back portion of the shell is kind of hard to work with. Like I had some problems with the roofing on the back side of the house, but I really like the front and I think it worked well. And the whole exterior gave off, for me at least, this kind of old Tudor horse ranch vibe. So on the inside, I really wanted to have a farmhouse look. And in general, in the interiors of my last build, like, I wasn't really happy with the interior work that I did. I was kind of like, I felt like I put so much effort into the exteriors of all my latest builds that I was kind of slacking in the interior. So with this build, I really wanted to prove myself that I can create beautiful and fitting and stylized interiors. And I think I succeeded in that. I really like the interior of this build, and yeah, I like every single room, maybe except for the toddler room and the adjacent bathroom upstairs. But other than that, I even like the upstairs and downstairs hallways, which I usually never do. So yeah, I was very proud of the interior of this one, which is what we are seeing at the moment. And with the kitchen, I wanted to achieve a look like this kitchen has been used for decades. And what I've seen in a lot of the reference pictures from old farmhouse kitchens is that behind these stoves there's often a darker area where a lot of the sort of ash has collected. So I really wanted a darker backdrop, and I originally wanted to do that with some of the vampires wall decorations, but they didn't have like a gray or black swatch. So I found this vent, I think from City Living, and realized that if I make it smaller, the weird shadow stays on the wall, which for this specific situation was exactly what I wanted. So it isn't as like naturally rounded as I would have liked it, but I think it still really works to make the area behind these stoves look like they were worked on for a lot of time. And also, what I really like is these wooden windows that look into the kitchen from the entryway. I think that's a super nice touch and seems very cozy to me. And then I went on to the living room, and for this one I had a very specific reference picture that I want to show you, then it all makes more sense. And I really loved this picture. It looked like so old and rustic and cozy and romantic, and that was exactly the vibe that I wanted for the living room. And it also inspired me to do something that I very rarely do, because usually I put my furniture directly against the wall of my Sims builds, because that's just space efficient. But in this case I didn't do it, and that allowed me to decorate the wall behind the sofas more. And that was a very nice experience, and I think it adds a lot to the room. I also really like the mirrors with the plants growing over it. And when I was kind of done with the area that you would be able to see in the reference picture, I just tried to decorate the rest of the room accordingly. And I hope I succeeded in that. I hope it all looks cohesive and like a nice living room. And I have to say, I would really like to have a living room like that, because I think it looks very beautiful and cozy, and I don't want to sound like too self-confident with all these rooms, but I was just like so happy after I finished the interior to see that I can still do it and I can still produce beautiful interiors, because I was really doubting myself after the last few builds. And now we see the decoration process of the bathroom downstairs, and it's a pretty standard bathroom, just slightly more decorated than I usually do it. And then the dining room is also nothing special, but I still really like the dining room, because first of all I like how the colors play together. And the other thing that I really like is that beautiful white, I think cabinet is the right word for this kind of thing, or this kind of furniture. And on this white cabinet I stacked some of these bowls from Jungle Adventure, and I think that looked like very realistic and very nice to have some clutter on top of a cabinet that you would just have for storage basically. And then when I got to the upstairs area, I first needed to rework the roofing of this bit that is sticking out to the front, because the roof was showing above the room. And I think that's very, very annoying for gameplay, and I wouldn't upload it to the gallery like this. So even though it looks a little bit worse from the front in my opinion, I'm still very glad that I reworked the room so that it doesn't clip over the room. And because I wanted to have one bigger bathroom upstairs and didn't want the child whose room was like in that front part to have to go through the bathroom every time they want to go to their own bedroom, and also I wanted to use the space in the bigger bathroom, even though like otherwise it would just be a small bathroom. So I added a ladder from the study room downstairs to get up to the second floor and to basically only get into that one like toddler room is I think how I decorated it. And I know that toddlers can't walk up and down stairs, so I made the second room up there a little bit bigger, and that has almost everything that, no, I think it has everything that the toddler needs, so that you can take care of the toddler upstairs without it having to come down. Which is, to be fair, not a realistic thing at all, but it's like kind of good for Sims gameplay, so I did it. And because I talked about that for way too long now, I didn't get to talk about something that I did with the furnishing that I was really proud of and that I haven't seen like that before. I'm sure a lot of creative Sims people have done it, but in real life there are a lot of sinks that are very chic and fancy in my opinion, that have this little storage space underneath, and then the real sink isn't let into that cabinet and storage space. It's like lifted so you can see the bowl up above. I think I explained that right, but we don't have a sink. Otherwise, like, I'll show a photo of the real life sink that I'm talking about, or one of those. And in the Sims we don't have something like this, so I used these NoCC kitchen cabinets, and then used the island living sink that has a very nicely shaped real like sink portion on top. And then I raised those island living sinks up, and it looks very good in my opinion, and I was so happy with the way it turned out. And later I playtested it, and unfortunately those island living sinks weren't usable anymore. But there are so many sinks in this build. There are 3 other ones, and one of those is literally steps away from the place where these sinks would have been. So I just kept those as a decoration item basically. And then for the bedroom, the master bedroom, it depends if you want to say that the bedroom downstairs with the study room attached to it is the master bedroom, because it also has the easiest access to the toddler's room, which would make sense for the parents to sleep there, or if the big room above with the fairy lights and all of that nicely decorated stuff is the master bedroom. That's up to you. But for this big bedroom, I really like the idea of there being a dark brown bench in front of the bed that you could just throw stuff onto, and that could be a little bit of a storage space, and that could also be decorated very neatly. So I went through with the idea of that bench and kind of filled the hole underneath it with a lot of these chests, and all of that together made a very cute look. And I also incorporated a TV into that room, and I think it's just a bedroom that has everything that you need and also looks very cute, has a similar style to the living room downstairs, so that it brought it all together. And I was very happy with this interior, so let me know what you think of it, what you think of the outside, and if you want to participate in this shell challenge. If you like this shell, just like tell me everything you think basically. I enjoyed this video, I enjoyed making this build, and I can't wait to see if people do this shell challenge, and if yes, what you all come up with. I'm sure it's going to be brilliant. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and liked this video, and if you would consider subscribing, you would make me super duper happy. I hope we'll see each other again.